So, welcome to another great episode of Java Boom. I'm your host, Georgi Viznuk, and today we're going to show you how to print integers on the screen. I'm also going to talk about a little bit about primitives. So, before we start, what are primitives? Well, primitives, there are two different ways of storing data in Java. Two main ways. One is using primitives and one using objects. What's the difference? Primitives are reserved data types. They're embedded in Java. They're part of the Java platform. Objects, on the other hand, are based on classes which developers can build. So they're custom. Both of them have their own advantages. For instance, when it comes to performance, primitives are generally faster to access. Classes, you can add additional functionality. So, what are the different kinds of primitives that we're going to use? Well, in this case, we're going to use integers. Integers are like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. There are other types of primitives, like bytes, useful in video processing, displaying images, buffering data. There are longs if you want larger integers stored. There are floats, which are decimal points, single precision, useful in high precision calculations like physics. There are doubles, which means double precision, hence the name, which I believe can go up to 15 decimal points, as opposed to floats, which is single precision and can go around 6 or 7 decimal points. There's also jars. Jars are characters. You can store single characters as primitives, as well as ASCII code. And also booleans, which are true or false values. So, with that in mind, let's get started with our lesson. So I have the main already set up here. If you are not familiar with the main, I suggest you go back and check our previous lesson on how to build a simple Java application. But to start printing integers, we're going to use a for loop. Now, what's a for loop? It's a block of code where if you want to iterate, go into a loop a certain amount of times. In this case, we're going to print into integers 0 to 10. So a loop will be really useful in this case. And in a for loop, there are 3 different sections. So loops always need a counter, otherwise they can go on forever. So in the first section in the for loop, you use to start the counter with a certain value. The second section I will show you later. So we initialize an integer with value 0. In the second section, we check if it reached a certain value. In this case, we want to stop at 10. So basically this is telling the loop to keep on going till it reaches 10. And the third section is what to do with the counter I in the meantime. Obviously we want to keep adding it 1, so we use plus plus. Plus plus is a short way of adding 1 value to itself. And open and close brackets to have our block of code. So now inside this block of code, we do system out dot print line and I. So we have it. There we have it right here. Let's build and run it. And there you have it. From 0 to 10, we printed a bunch of integers. So I hope you enjoyed this simple lesson on how to print integers and got a little bit to know about primitives and for loops as well. Until then, take care.